It's a long way of me trying to figure out how much of it is just humans, Main Street, Wall Street, just getting used to this reality of uncertainty and figuring out how to navigate it, because we're all pretty creative in that kind, and how much of it is kind of just solving it. Right.
In terms of advice for folks out there, I wrote an article in the Harvard Business Review about a year ago saying there are 3 things you should do when uncertainty increases. Number 1 is try and pay for flexibility. So for example, rent rather than buy equipment, take short rather than long leases, lease rather than permanently hire employees. Now, typically flexibility costs money. So, for example, if you sign a longer lease on a piece of, an office, or you buy a piece of equipment, lease it, it's cheaper in the long run. But when uncertainty is high, it's worth paying for flexibility. Fact 2 is, particularly now, is trying to follow what's going on. And currently, a lot of uncertainty is coming from political movements. And so it's honestly just pay attention to politics and policy. There was an old saying, George Stigler, another Nobel Prize winner, said, the business of business is business. But it turns out right now that ain't true anymore. I mean, businesses have to get heavily involved with policy, governments. And then advice 3 is to have an emergency plan. So there are various, horror risks on the horizon I could see. For example, Trump, President Trump could get rid of Jerome Powell. He could fire him. If that happens, I wouldn't be surprised that, the dollar drops 10%, the market crashes, Who knows? You could see various illiquidity stays, markets freezing up, etc. There's other things that could happen. I would think of emergency plans.